No more gatekeeping. These are the exact study methods that I used to get 5 A stars in my A levels. If you've never seen my face before, my name is Tilly. I'm currently a university student, and I give you study tips on this app every single day. And okay, before anybody comments anything, I got 4 A stars in my A levels and then 1 more A star in my EPQ. And today I want to break down exactly how I decided which study methods I would use for each subject, because it was different for every single subject I did. So first thing I did was split up my subjects into 2 categories. One, essay-based subjects, your history, your economics, your subjects that are about writing essays, and that are typically very content dense. And then I had my more mathematical subjects, my more scientific, my more quantitative, and I would use this framework to decide how to revise each subject. So if we look at the content dense A levels, your essay based A levels, there were 2 main things I focused on. One, storing all of that information in my long term memory, because there is so much to remember for your economics, for example, like I took. But if you're looking at religious studies, if you're looking at history, English literature, you need to be using active recall methods to retrieve information from your long-term memory on a regular basis, consistently covering content you're not doing in the class. So let's say I was doing macroeconomics in my second year, I was doing like tariffs and stuff. I may be retrieving first year micro content. For this, I found that blurting was really helpful, and also flashcards were very helpful, especially where there were key definitions and just things I needed to remember. In addition, understanding how the topics link together, because nothing is taught in isolation in any subject. Now, this piece of advice is a little bit more nuanced because, of course, for example, everything is interlinked in economics. However, in history, you may have 2 completely different historical time periods that bear little relevance to each other. So more often than not, for my essay-based subject, I was using blurting and I was using SQ4R and sometimes flashcards. But then critically, exam practice. With those essay-based subjects at A level, the examiner wants to see something very, very specific. You need to hit every assessment objective on that mark scheme. So doing exam practice, making sure your exam technique is top tier. Now, on to my quantitative subjects. So I did 2 different maths A levels, and I found that revising for these 2 were much easier than my other 2 essay-based A levels. Now, that's probably because I'm a bit more mathematically minded, but also because I could very simply say, I got the answer or I didn't get the answer. And in order to get the correct answer in your maths, in your difficult science questions, you need to understand the specification like the back of your hand, everything you've been taught. Understanding how topics interlink is so crucial, and the best way to practice that is exam practice over and over again. And definitely flashcards for definitions and formulas.